Good morning, 7:14 as we wake up with this live look at Southern Pines. Looks really nice out there, but it's going to be a hot day if you want to get a tea time. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is out on the WRAL weather patio, and it's not feeling too bad, but very sticky, I'm sure, out there, Elizabeth.
Yeah, the air is really heavy out here on the patio this morning, but, it's still fairly comfortable. Temperatures are in the 70s. We give it another couple of hours, it's going to start to feel uncomfortable. By noon, it will already feel like the triple digits. It's pretty out there, though. Right now, we take a live look at downtown Raleigh, and you can see that beautiful sunrise that's happening as we look past the legislative building. We're watching a potential for some thunderstorms to develop later on this afternoon. You see the front that's back across the Midwest right now. That will slide eastward and stall over us this weekend, and that's going to bring us a completely different weather pattern as we get into Saturday and Sunday. Sunday's best chance for rain will be in the east. We've got a pretty good chance for rain for tomorrow. This afternoon, it'll be fairly late, looking at mainly late afternoon, evening, say around the time of the evening commute. We'll pause it right there at 5 o'clock, and you can see those showers and storms that start to pop up. Not terribly widespread, but it continues overnight and into the day Saturday. There's 6 a.m. Saturday. We may get a break around lunchtime, and then as our cold front gets closer to us, you can see that start to come into frame there. Notice at 5 o'clock, pretty good line of storms develops, and we do have a level 1 risk for severe weather. And then that all shifts to the eastern part of the state on Sunday with a better chance for rain there. So for today and tomorrow, we have a level 1 risk for severe storms. Wind damage is going to be the greatest threat for us both days. Today, we have just isolated storms, but it's an 80% chance for tomorrow and a 70% chance on Sunday. So between now and Sunday, we could see as much as 1.5 to 2.5 inches of rain. So some significant rainfall headed our way. We could definitely use some. We've started to catch up from the very dry conditions in June and early July. Last week, we had 20% of the state in moderate drought. And this week, yesterday, it came in at only 6%. And in our viewing area, we only have a couple of pockets of abnormally dry conditions. This is going to be something that we're going to be talking about probably for the next week or so. We're watching the potential for a tropical system to develop down potentially near Cuba. 80% chance that this develops. We may see some impacts in Florida this weekend, and then possibly off the coast of North Carolina Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week. 80% chance that this develops over the next 7 days, and there may be tropical storm watches and warnings that are posted for the coast of Florida today for the weekends. We're starting to see this thing spin up. Here's a look at the model plots. Yesterday and the day before, and even the day before that, we really didn't have any good consensus with the models. And so we're seeing a little bit more consistency with the models, bringing this across Florida and then back out into the Atlantic. The big thing is, though, it may end up losing any steering currents, so it may sit there and just spin off the coast of North Carolina. And the models are all over the place in terms of intensity. Anything from a tropical depression to a hurricane could develop off the coast of the Carolinas. So it's something that we'll be watching closely. Stay tuned. We've got plenty of time to watch this, and we'll see plenty of models coming in with new information over the next few days. No tropical impacts at the beach this weekend, but as early as Monday or Tuesday, we could see that. We'll take a closer look at that in just a few minutes. We do have medium risk for rip currents potentially over the weekend. Over the weekend, when we see more rain, temperatures will drop too. 91 Saturday, 85 Sunday, and next week, Tuesday through Thursday, highs are in the 80s, and that'll be nice to see.
Yeah, it certainly is. I think the pool will feel very good today. Of course, if you can be safe out there jumping in with all of this heat that we're expecting today. A lot of people out there, though, getting started here. Our Pinehurst camera, you can see early on, very, very smart compared to heading out later on this afternoon. We will see some manageable temperatures, though, going into here to the weekend, but we already feel like 90 across the triangle, 97, almost triple digits for you in Clinton currently, but Roxborough's looking okay, 79 degrees. I don't anticipate that to last long, though. As we go through today, feels like values could get up to about 110. That's why we do have a heat advisory in place for our entire viewing area. That goes until 8 o'clock this evening. There's a look at some of those model projections. 108 there at 3 o'clock, even at 8 o'clock tonight, 97. So if you're tempted to take those pets out and go for a walk or something this evening, still make sure to keep that hot pavement in mind so they're not burning their little paws, and you yourself just taking some precautions today. Let's check out any storm chances, though, for us, because we are technically under a level 1 severe risk for us us today. Like what we saw yesterday, we did have a level 1 risk yesterday. We virtually saw no storms come out of that, and I don't anticipate much for us today. Tomorrow at this point, we still have that chance for some strong to severe storms. It looks like the better potential, and I'll show you that here on Futurecast. We go through the next couple of hours. We're quiet. We'll see a lot of sunshine really helping to pump those temperatures up. 3 o'clock this afternoon, Zippo, they're showing up. Nothing as far as any rainfall is concerned, but we get closer to 8 o'clock. You see some of those light storms up to our north and west. They may try and come through. A lot of them start to fizzle out, though, as they get closer to us. We head into Saturday. That timestamp up in the corner for you, 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. Again, quiet. If you can steer your plans to tomorrow morning, the first half of the day looks better, because look at what happens here after about 3 o'clock into the afternoon. These would be some strong storms coming through, and it's almost more of a line right there. That would indicate some of those may have some damaging wind gusts with them as they come through. And then by late tomorrow evening, there's 8 o'clock. This all starts to push on out, and we'll continue to watch that here fizzling out tomorrow night. So that's what we're looking at for tomorrow. Scattered storms also possible into our Sunday as well. Very, very busy still in the tropics. Here's the latest update from the Hurricane Center. 90% chance of development, so almost a given that this is going to form as we head over the next 5 days or so. It's this system that's currently crossing Cuba. It doesn't have a currently well-defined center to it, but that's something we're going to watch the next couple of days. Potential tropical storm watches and warnings coming out for Florida as we head later on today. Here's a look at those model plots. You can see taking them across Cuba, bringing this as a landfall into the Tampa area. It swings it back offshore, getting very close to the Carolinas there into later on next week. So we'll be watching that pretty closely. 91 there on Saturday, 85 guys on Sunday. We continue temperatures looking a little bit better next week in the 80s with a few more storm chances on the way. Here's a check of the tropics as of our latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center. Lots to watch with this system right now that's currently pushing over Cuba. That's where you can see that red X. That's kind of where we think the center of this system is currently or is trying to get going. There's not a very well-defined center at this point. With that said, though, we could see tropical storm watches and warnings coming out for Florida later today because this is developing. It's trying to strengthen. The latest update here from the Hurricane Center bumps chances up to 60% over the next 2 days and 90% over the next 5. Here's the model plot. So these give us a good idea from different models looking at this same storm system of what potentially will happen. The closer they get to one another, the better agreement where a track potentially could be. So I'll pause this as we get into Sunday. You can see it potentially coming into the Tampa area, southwest Florida or so along the Gulf side, and then it moves back out over the Atlantic. That is something that a lot of these are showing and something we will watch closely for potential strengthening beyond Florida.